Bella Beauties and Bella Bows. Welcome back to my channel, Bella Blaque TV. I'm Bella Blaque. We have another great, eligible, and intentional dater. Let's welcome Kris.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Kris. How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm well. Can't complain. All right, so we'll go ahead
Same
and
here.
get started. We're going to go ahead and start with introductions. So, if you don't mind, if you will state your location and your age.
Um, I'm currently in Dallas, Texas, and I'm here.
I'm sorry, you cut out Christian. Where you from and your age?
I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. Currently living in the DFW Metroplex, and I'm 39 years old.
Okay, good deal. So you said you came from Missouri?
Came from St. Louis, Missouri. Absolutely.
Okay, good deal. How long have you been in Texas?
Since 2018. So I just wanted a brand new lease on life. St. Louis, I feel like I had outgrown it. So everybody was talking about, how great, the DFW was as far as,
Most definitely.
building a career. So here I am.
All right, sounds good. All right, so we'll go ahead and get into the questions. The first question is, what is your occupation and for how long?
I currently work in federal law enforcement. I've been in this line of work for 19 years now. So
Oh, wow. So that is definitely a career. And do
yeah,
you enjoy what you do?
what was that?
Do you enjoy what you do?
I do. I just try to remember that it's a dangerous, thankless job, but somebody's got to do it, and my job is to protect and serve the community in all facets and capacity.
Most definitely, and we appreciate your work.
Thank you.
All right. So, what are some of your hobbies?
Um, I love working out. I love hiking. I love fishing. Um, I love watching, movies. I love going to the movies. I enjoy comedy clubs. I love traveling. Um, I love, I'm a foodie, so traveling different places and trying different restaurants, that's my jam.
All right, good deal. So, do you ever watch like the Travel Channel or those cooking travel shows and you write it down and then go visit those places?
All the time, all the time.
Really? Good deal. All righty. So, have you ever been married? And if so, what is your current marital status? Never been married, divorced, separated, and estranged, widow. What is your marital status?
I've never been married. I've never been married. I've been engaged once, and that didn't work out. We had just grown apart. But no, I've never been married. So I'm definitely looking to be blessed and cross that road, with somebody special one day.
All right, sounds good. All righty. So, do you have children? And if so, how many and what are their ages? And do you desire more?
Yes, I have one. I have one 3-year-old daughter. She is my absolute world. Um,
Little princess.
that I'm a girl dad. I never thought in years to be a girl dad, but here I am. Um, and you know what? As far as do I desire if that's what God has His plans for me, with the right person and only and I mean this only in a marriage. Am I going to even entertain that idea? I don't want to do any more children out of wedlock.
I understand. Understandable. All righty. And what is one negative trait about yourself that you took from your last relationship that you're currently working on, will work on, and why do you think it's a negative trait?
I think for me, one of my biggest, character flaws or negative trait, if you will, is just having an over analytical mind. Sometimes I can take something and my mind start racing 1,000 hours about that subject when and I'll start coming to my own conclusions when 9 times out of 10 the conclusion I came to was not even it wasn't even that serious. You know what I mean?
You took something that's supposed to be in point A that's supposed to go to point B, and you took it all the way to Z.
No, sometimes I can take it all the way to sometimes I can take it all the way to WXYZ.
Right. That's
but I
understandable.
but I recognize that of myself. So I recognize that
Right.
that that
Yeah, but and it's hard to break that habit when you are an analytical person, because I'm a very analytical person as well, and so you do have to be cognizant of it. You can be like, okay, so this I just didn't take this all the way into left field. I need to bring it back in. So that's good to be able to recognize that and bring it back
exactly.
in. Alrighty, so let's go on to the next question. All right, so how do you handle or deal with conflict?
Communication, communication. I think that in my line of work and relating it back to my profession, Bella, is
Mhm.
if you don't know how to communicate with people, you're not going to
Mhm.
get very far, especially in law enforcement. And so, I apply that same principle to my relationships. Effective communication will solve a lot of things. And so,
Right.
as long as the as long as I'm willing to be open and communicative, and the other person is willing to communicate along with me, then we can have dialogue back and forth, and that solves a lot.
Right. And speaking of the communication, when you all are having that conflict or disagreement, do you allow your partner to deal with it in the way that best suit them to deal with it, or do you try to get them to conform to your communication style?
No, I don't get them to try to conform to my communication style. I want the
Mhm.
person that I'm with to feel, you know, open and free and be able to express, you know, what they need to express to me through whatever means how they want to express it. Um, Sometimes I think that that's called being an emotional bully. Is when you try to get somebody to conform, to how you receive or to how you that's not necessarily how the other person wants to communicate, and that's perfectly fine. But as long as there is some type of communication, I'm
Right.
for it.
Right. So if they just need some time to decompress and gather their thoughts and then revisit the conversation, you're okay with that and you allow them to take that space and then y'all reconvene when it's a cooler head.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh,
Um,
good deal.
I
What
think
you
that
say?
no, I was just saying, I think that's the best way to be. I mean, um, sometimes, actually, sometimes what you'll find is that the other person their communication style might be best in that given situation. So if them walking away and needing to take, a short commercial break before you get back, into it or,
Hmm.
to dive into the conversation, sometimes even though that may not be my communication style, I might sit back and say, oh man, I can take a page out of her book because, she's actually got the right solution right now. So let's both take a step back and come back to the table.
Most definitely, because just because it's the way that you communicate and your partner might communicate in a different way does not necessarily mean your way is the best way or their way is the best way. You just have to, meet each other in the middle in order to be able to get to a point to where y'all are able to resolve the conflict.
Exactly.
All right. All right. So, is religion or spirituality important to you? And if so, what do you believe in and or practice? And is it important to you that your mate practice or follow the same beliefs?
It is, Bella. I was raised in church. I was raised, Christian. Specifically, I was raised Baptist. Now, as far as like being the same denomination, um, that's flexible as long as it's nothing too crazy. But no, but it is very important my significant other, um, that we be equally yoked, and I desire a virtuous woman. I desire a woman that will be willing to jump in the fire with me and both get on our knees in a prayer closet, take that prayer cloth, and we're praying for each other, over each other, with each other, and so it definitely is important.
Amen. Having that prayer time together, that's what strengthens the relationship in the marriage. All right. Sounds good. All right. So, do you believe in therapy? Why or why not?
I do believe in therapy. Therapy is a great thing because it allows a person to um, sometimes a therapist is good for nothing more than just having a sounding board, somebody that you can, release on, your situations or whatever things you're going through, unresolved, transgressions or things, from your past that are not yet um, healed or, not settled. So I think therapy is a great thing. The one thing that I do, advise people before you jump into therapy, make sure you're really ready to unpack those things because once listen, I've seen therapy go a couple different ways. Like sometimes the person won't be ready to unpack certain things, and those therapists have a way to get you, to open up through your own ambivalence. And so
Right.
once you start down that road, you better be ready to deal with them because if not, you'll just Bella, seriously, sometimes you can make more of a mess when you start therapy because a person really wasn't ready to begin therapy.
Right.
If you
Right.
started, if you started, you got to keep going. You can't start and stop and start and stop. You got to keep going. You
Right.
got to do the work. You got to
That's
do the work.
That's true. That's true. Like you said, once it's out there, it's time to deal with it. It's time to
Yep.
deal with it. It's going to impact all those emotions that you may have, um, I guess, compacted inside or suppressed. That's the word I'm looking for. Suppressed inside, and then once you release that, you just got to go with it. So I agree. All right. So, do you believe in gender roles, and if so, what do you believe is the man's role in the marriage or long term relationship, and what is the woman's role in the marriage or long term relationship?
I do believe in gender roles. In some regards, I still believe that it's old school. Men are protectors. They're providers. They are leaders of the household. The spiritual leaders, first and foremost. Any man that is willing to commit himself to the will of God, at that point, a wife or somebody that's looking to be a wife shouldn't have any problem. I don't want to say submitting, but hopefully they don't have a problem, conforming to their man's or their husband's perspective of how they want to do things or how they want to conduct their familyhood. But that's only if that man is submitting himself to the will of God. And I believe that as far as like women go, you should want to be, if I bring you a house, I believe that the woman should make the home. It should women add a sense of like, touch and comfiness, with their femininity, their soft touch, so I definitely believe in gender roles. And it's not anything like, oh, women should be in the kitchen cooking and cleaning. No, no, no. I believe those kind of things should be shared, equally. What I'm saying is that I just believe that, you know, if there's something going bump in the night and you guys are asleep, I don't expect my girl or my wife to get up. I'm getting up. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I, I'm going downstairs to see what's going to bump in the night. I mean, so that's what I mean when I say gender role.
Right. Okay, good deal. All right. So, but you, in line with those gender roles, do you also believe, let's say that the woman has a voice in the marriage to where, like, let's say she might be good in finance or with finances, and you may be really good in other areas and not so well in finances, and she tries to, just give you suggestions or advice on finances, or you receptive of receiving that information, or because you feel like you're the man in the marriage that she doesn't have a say?
No, absolutely. I absolutely. As a matter of fact, I know what my flaws are, and I know what I do and don't bring to the table. And you know, I like to live a certain way, and sometimes that may mean living above my means. It would be nice to have somebody to be like, hold on, babe, let's reel this back in for a minute. So no, I definitely believe that a woman has a voice in the relationship. Absolutely.
Okay, good deal. All right. So outside of physical, I'm sorry, what aesthetics or physical features are attracted to you? An example, like the hair type, the length, the style, body type, slim, thick, curvy, BBW, the height of the woman, the skin tone, facial features. What aesthetics or attributes are attracted to you? What do you consider is attractive?
You know what, Bella? You're not gonna get me in trouble with this one. You're not gonna get me in trouble with this question.
No, but I mean, it is what it is. You like what you like, and so.
No, I'm kidding. No, you know what? The only thing that I think aesthetically, that I care about is really I'm not that tall of a guy. I'm 5'9", on a good day. So, I mean, I don't think I just don't think we will look proportionally correct if I'm 5'9" and I'm dating a woman that's 5'11". Because as soon as she puts those heels on, that easily goes to 6'1", 6'2". So um, so a woman, a woman that's at least in that, I mean, no taller than 5'5".
Mhm.
I got to keep it respectable.
All right. And that's, hey, that's your preference, and that is your preference. And so, is that the only um, aesthetic or attribute that she has to have, is just be 5'5" and under?
You know what? I love I love I love a BBW. I do.
Okay, okay.
So,
So, I guess because people define BBW in different ways, and so um, is the BBW like start at a certain size, or just if a woman consider herself to be BBW, that's your thing.
um, that's kind of hard, Bella. I mean, you know what? I guess the best way to put it is like somebody that would be like a plus size model. There we go. If that answers that question.
Hmm. All right,
Yeah.
all right, sounds good. All right, so what is one unique thing about yourself that most people don't know?
Um, One unique thing about myself that people know, um is that I'm a hopeless romantic. Not a lot of people know I am. I'm a hopeless romantic, and that's I'm being completely vulnerable. Admitting that on your show, but I am.
So what just so the people know, what are some of those things that you feel that you do that uh, I guess qualifies as a hopeless romantic?
um
You could just name one or two.
Okay. Um, sometimes I'll watch, those black romance, dramas, and I
Mhm.
man, that would be nice to be in something like that, where the man and the woman, fall, hopelessly in love, and they ride off into the sunset together, you know, and I mean that's the biggest thing. And I guess, I just pray to God at night, that He blesses me, with the person that I'm supposed to be with.
Okay, good deal. And if you speak it, believe it, and manifest it, it will happen.
It
All
will.
right. So the next question is, what are your relationship status goals? Marriage, long-term relationship, or companionship only, and why now?
Um, Definitely marriage. Definitely marriage. I'm 39, Bella. I'm turning 40, here in a few months. It's just time. It's time. I mean, it gets to a point where, like, you get tired of living a single bachelor life, and you want somebody to come home to. You know, not only do you want somebody to come home to, you want somebody to wake up to. You want somebody to go to sleep with at night. So but before you with anybody, one has to be content on being by themselves. And so I've done enough self healing and being, by myself and being alone to where, I think that I know that I'm ready to, share my space, with somebody else.
I get so he said he know what he want. He's done the work and he's ready for his wife. All right, ladies. All right. So the next question is, what are your love languages, and how would you like for your partner to provide those love languages to you, and what does that look like? And put it in the order of importance if you have more than one love language.
So you're asking me my love languages?
Yes, what you want someone to show to you, not what you to provide to someone else, but what you want someone to show to you, and what does that look like?
So I always name these two right off the bat, and then the other two, I mean, they can fight for supremacy. But the two most important love languages to me, for
Mhm,
me, is words of
mhm.
affirmation and physical touch. Um, and what that looks like, words of affirmation is, see, men, we just want to feel wanted and we want to feel desired. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm giving you the game about men. Like we want to feel wanted.
Right.
So, with that, you know, tell us we look good. Tell me, I put that stuff on. Like when we go out, you know,
Right.
yeah,
I get it. Yes.
Bella. Sometimes, I joke about it, but sometimes I'm like, man, you ain't even got to mean it. Long as you tell me, I'm gonna eat it.
Just say it.
Just
At
say
least
it.
make it sound good and believable. You know?
Hey, Leo, I'm a Leo, so I'm a sucker for flattery. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And and then as far as physical touch goes, most people, I've heard it said like, all men like physical touch. You know what? It doesn't necessarily mean in a sexual way. I just want to
Right.
be, like dote over me. When we're in
Mhm.
public, grab my hand. Put my arm around you. You know what I mean? Like show me that you want to be physically up under me.
Right. All
And
right.
that's
That's what your love languages are, and that's what you want to see. All right. Okay. And so the next question is, what does the term emotional intelligence mean to you? And do you provide this in a relationship? Yeah. And
um,
if so, how?
so. What emotional intelligence is to me is somebody that can pick up on cues, and somebody that can kind of feel what the other person's feeling. It's almost kind of like being an empath, right? You feel with. So having that emotional intelligence is necessary so you can be able to. It helps understand your partner. It helps understand a little bit about where they're coming from, because it really is true. Men are from Mars and women are from Venus, as the book so says. So with that being said, like you have to have the emotional intelligence in order to understand that we are different and that we're going to be different, but that doesn't mean we can't coexist with each other. So having that emotional intelligence, it kind of, you understand that women are relational typically, and in my opinion, men are occupational. So once you start kind of understanding, the different nuances, between us men and women, that's having that emotional intelligence.
Right. Good deal. And being in tune with your partner's emotions. So, all right. Okay. So, what are some obstacles you've encountered while trying to date?
What do I think are some obstacles in trying to date?
Like, since you've been, in the dating realm, what have been some obstacles that you have encountered while being in the dating
Oh wow. Off the top, I think that one of the things is I've encountered some women that are not healed from their past situations. They're still holding on to resentment and bitterness. So anybody that comes to me, Bella, I just want them to be just whole and healthy and happy, and and healed from whatever past trauma or situations that they endured. Um, I guess another thing is in my line of work, for whatever reason, a lot of women are intimidated by a man that works in law enforcement, because you have the stereotypes that you know we're cheaters, we're woman beaters, we're and I don't know, I can't speak for anybody else, but Kris here is none of those things. So really, I'm serious, Bella. It sometimes when I tell women what I do for a living, they kind of shy the other way because they're like, "Oh, I've heard about you. I've heard about you, law enforcement guys." That's a fallacy. So, I think that's a hurdle. What's another one? I think that women with like small children from like from babyhood to unless that child is kind of independent and 18 and up, a lot of times if you think about it, if they're a single mom, right? Because
realm?
technically if I'm talking to somebody, hopefully they are single,
Hmm.
and if they're a single mom, then
Hmm.
that means that they're very heavily involved in their children's lives. And
Hmm.
sometimes women don't know how to balance mother life from relationship life, and so it leaves a man to feel like, wow, like I mean, I understand you're a mom and everything, but we are dating or we're trying to build something, so can we, it's just gotta be a balance on that. So I think
Right.
sometimes that can be a hurdle.
Right. They got to be able to incorporate you into the mix if they are living today.
Exactly, because
All right.
at the
Mhm.
end of the day, Bella, like I understand that a woman with a child is a package deal, and I'm willing to
Mhm.
accept that package
Okay.
deal, but
Mhm.
because I want a woman to be able to accept, I'm a package deal. I have a daughter,
Mhm.
so so like I said, I just think that it's a balancing act, and I really respect a woman that can hold down a dating life at the same time, being a present mother.
Most definitely. Most definitely. On top of most of the time, women, especially women with children, have careers as well, so they should be able to, I guess, hold down their career, their child, and be able to incorporate a mate into the mix.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. And along the lines of that, what do you think has been one of the biggest challenges or impact that has affected dating as we see it today? Just not necessarily in your own experience, but just dating overall. What do you feel? Because a lot of people say that there are a lot of difficulties in dating, and it's just like has gotten to a point to where it's just out of hand. So, what do you think has been one of the biggest impacts or challenges that has affected dating as we see it today?
Oh, that's easy. People listening to these red pill podcasts. You got these podcasts with men bashing men, podcasts with men bashing women, and then when you subscribe, to those things, it makes dating difficult because you're subscribing to something that sounded good because somebody said it on a podcast, and that's not even your story. Like you haven't,
Right.
you know,
You really don't even believe that. Yeah.
yeah, you haven't you have been through that, and you like, yeah, dog. Yeah, all women are, HOEs, and you got
Yeah.
women out, yeah, these men ain't no good, and so I mean, it's like, oh my god,
Right, right. It's like everybody is being played against each other, and it's just like,
yeah,
people, how do we overcome this? Like, we won't have families anymore if this goes on.
exactly,
So,
exactly,
so
and
I do agree. It has played a big part in the dynamics of how we see dating today.
yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like you got the big topic now. A lot of men like this whole passport bros, like you're gonna make you know your fellow women that are here home side of the United States, you're gonna make them feel like, what's the point of even making myself open and available when you're automatically talking about skipping to a country to find love. So it's crazy, Bella. It's crazy.
Right. It's it's basically just talk because it's just some people that have been hurt or they're not probably getting the attention that they desire or want, and so it's just a cry out for attention. So
Right.
yeah. All right. So do you believe in monogamy?
Absolutely. I believe in monogamy. I believe that if you don't believe in it, somebody's gonna get hurt, like, emotionally, or I mean, sometimes if you got somebody crazy enough, but uh,
Right.
but no, absolutely. I mean, that's the way it should be.
Right, 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 right. All right. So, what are absolute deal breakers that you will not tolerate when choosing a partner?
Um, Smoking. I don't do smoking.
Any
Uh,
sort of any sort of smoking, or just particular smoking, or just any smoking at all?
Cigarette smoking and weed smoking are absolute no nos for me. Um, Hookah. If you're a hookah smoker, I mean, I can get with that, but I don't know, cigarette and weed smoking, that's a no no for me. Um, what's another deal breaker? Um,
Okay, so still on the line of smoking. What about cigars? Because some women smoke cigars.
I enjoy a good cigar, so I mean, if we want to go out to a cigar lounge and smoke a cigar, I mean, I'm down for that.
Okay.
I'm down for that. You asked for another deal breaker. Another deal breaker for me would be um selfish women. Like,
And what do you consider to be selfish?
um, like never ever lending kind of, support, or, everything's about me, right? Feeling like you're the prize in a relationship. I mean, I kind of feel like we're both prizes. I mean, as a man, I'm gonna assume the role of, I'm gonna make you feel special, but you know, the more special I make you feel, that doesn't mean that you need to, I guess make me feel like you're the prize to be with. Like I understand you're important, but um, it's two people in this relationship, not just one.
Right. Well, people are equally important. All
Right.
right.
Exactly. So
Okay.
I mean, really, those are like two of the biggest deal breakers for me.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, what do you feel it takes for someone to be a great mate to you and for you to be a great mate to someone?
I feel like what it takes for somebody to be a great mate to me is somebody that is soft, um, caring, nurturing, um, so nurturing that they put me in a vulnerable state where, I feel like I can be open, and tell my deepest, darkest secrets to. Um, a woman that likes, fun and adventure. Like if I say, hey, let's pack our bags and let's fly to Vegas for the weekend, all I need you to say is okay.
All
you
right.
know,
I don't know too many women that object to that.
you know, let me all I need to hear is, babe, let me clear my schedule.
So, like, some people consider it adventurous as like outdoor or extreme sports type of things. You're not necessarily talking about that. You're just saying just being willing and open to be able to just do those spontaneous things like take those trips for the
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and honestly, don't get it twisted, Bella. I am an outdoors, and so I mean, one
weekend.
day I might say, let's go ATV riding in the woods. I mean, just
Hmm.
just be down, be ready to go.
Well, okay, let's go. All right.
Um,
Okay, I'm
the
sorry.
second, I'm sorry.
Mhm,
No, the second part to that question was, you asked like, what does that look like for me to them?
mhm,
So what they're gonna get from me, they're gonna get a very understanding, generous, very protective. I consider myself, a knight in shining armor, right? If you're my lady or my wife, I mean, I'm speaking into existence because that's the name of the game. You know, you're gonna get a protective leader out of me. You're gonna get somebody that is. I'm very romantic. I love to set the mood. For like romantic nights, romantic dinners, romantic dates. So basically, and somebody that's just gonna be willing to put in the work because every day is not gonna be peaches and sunshine, but if they're willing to put in the work, I'm willing to put in the work. Then we should be good to go.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Both people working together to make it work. All right. Mhm. Okay, so what is your dating range? Your dating age range?
You said my dating age range.
Hmm.
My dating age range would be from 30, 35 to 40.
I'm sorry. What was it? I'm sorry.
35 to 40.
Okay. All right. And what is your dating location preference? Like, for instance, you're willing to date internationally, locally within your current state, surrounding states, anywhere in the USA. And the second part to that question is, do you have a passport or are willing to obtain
Um, yeah. So the passport is that's no big deal. But as far as like a dating range, I don't really do long distance well. I've tried it a couple of times. It just doesn't work for me. So I would prefer somebody in my surrounding. Pretty much like I said, I'm in the DFW area, so somebody in the DFW, somebody that I can easily have accessibility to. Um, you know, if they need me or I need them, or we just uh, yeah. So yeah.
Okay, and I know you said the DFW area, but did you want to disclose like specifically because the DFW area is really huge, and so did you want to disclose like a certain area? Let's just say Forney, McKinney, um, Irving. Did you want to disclose like a certain range so a person can get a better concept of what the commute or what the commute would be, especially if they have children that may like be in sports or have different activities and they're still trying to incorporate you into the mix.
I mean, honestly, Bella, like, it doesn't. No, just I'm gonna keep that open, just the DFW area. So I mean,
No, I'm
if
saying about yourself, like where you're located.
uh, well, so specifically, I'm in the Fort Worth area.
Fort Worth, okay.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
All
in.
right,
But
Fort Worth.
what was
Oh yeah,
that?
'cause, just so people can get a sense of, like I said, because the DFW area is so big and it can take some time to get from one side of DFW to the other. So if the people had, the people that are in the DFW area, if they had like a specific area, they will know about how long the commute would be. So
Right,
that's
right.
what I asked. All right. So, do you have a race preference?
No, I don't have a race preference.
Okay, so anyways. All right. And how do you want eligible and intentional daters to reach out to you?
Um, they can reach out to via Instagram or Facebook. I can provide my handle or email. I mean, honestly, really, given today's climate and and technology, I guess the best way would probably be the Instagram and Facebook.
Right. I want to suggest you give your email. All right. So what is your IG?
My IG,
Mm-hmm.
my IG is Bella. I don't.
Because you said you was gonna for them to be able to reach out to you.
Yeah, yeah. Here, can you give me a second? Like, is that
Are we gonna get disconnected?
no? I tell you what, with a Facebook.
Actually, you can just give me the information. If you don't have it, if you don't have your IG right off, I can just add it to the video in the description, and so it'll be there for them to reach out to you.
Okay, I
But do you
can't.
know your Facebook?
I can't give you my Facebook. Yeah, my Facebook is
Okay.
my name, and that's Christian Kristian.
Mhm.
Last name Scott Scott.
Okay. Alrighty. Got it. Okay, well, that sounds good. So that pretty much concludes all the questions for the interview. Do you have anything else to add? Or did you, yeah, did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
No, I just want to tell you, Bella, thank you for giving me the platform to put myself out there amongst the other eligible daters that are watching. And so I just want to say thank you, and and it's I think you're doing a wonderful and beautiful thing here for Black Love, or
Well,
just
thank you. I appreciate that. One thing about me, I love love. I love families. I love couples. And I just want everyone to be in happy and healthy relationships. So that's my goal. And so as long as God allows me to do this, I'm going to continue to do it. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and doing this interview with me today. So I'm going to go ahead and take you off stage and take care. Okay. And
thank
good luck in your journey.
thank you so much.
All righty. All right, Bella Beauties and Bella Bows, that is a wrap. Thank you for tuning in to another interview. And until next time, take care. God bless and talk to you later. Bye bye.